Good morning, Dubai. Happy nearly weekend. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Our top stories today, the top 10 dream jobs for UAE residents.
And messages claiming to be the UAE's Ministry of Interior have been clarified as scams.
Make your way to Abu Dhabi next week because the countdown is on for the Mubadala Abu Dhabi Tennis Championships.
Oh, that's exciting. And also, right after top stories, we will be going live with Insider Inside Dubai Land's Mohammed Yaha from, he will be talking about the pulse of Dubai's rental market and all of that. But right now, the pulse of Dubai is
Dubai's rental market, but it's also tennis. And the sponsor of today's show is the Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open in association with Lovin Abu Dhabi, which is bringing together the world's top female tennis players to battle it out at Abu Dhabi's first ever female tennis championship, approved by the Women's Tennis Association. So this is a big one. Now, although the Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open are the sponsors of today's show, the opinions and statements are Lovin Dubai's, which has never been more relevant as we jump into our talk topic for the morning.
Very interesting, intriguing, I think quirky topic.
Curious.
I don't know, it's just a weird one.
Every now and then a little story goes quietly viral across Dubai, and I think that happened yesterday. It's like when you see phones pinging and you see WhatsApp alerting, and when your office people start talking about it and you've seen it on a Facebook, and then it's been, catapulted onto Instagram, and then there's like a host talking about it on TikTok. That hasn't happened yet, but it could come. It started off in a Facebook group and now it's gone everywhere, and it's just a question.
It always starts in Facebook groups, the viral
private
ones.
Facebook groups, and then someone else shares it. They're so private. So, a father, I'm assuming, because it was in a dad's Facebook group, asked the question, his wife has been offered a cosmetic surgery by her boss as her bonus. And he goes into more details about the cosmetic surgery. But the question is that okay? Is that normal? They've had the discussion.
So basically, in the Facebook group, when the dad speaks about this, not the dad, the person who spoke about this incident and that my wife got offered cosmetic surgery by her boss, he also clarified that that's what she wanted. That's what they both wanted for her, and and plus he said the office is very friendly. Everyone quite they speak about this, and I think they're privy to the fact that she wanted this. And now that she's been gifted this, he's just like, oh wait, now we're finally getting what we want. Like she's getting what she wants, but I don't know my thoughts on it. Yeah, is it weird?
So, for example, it would be like your boss saying, hey, I'm going to get you liposuction. And you're like, I know I've talked about it, but do I want it? I personally, just give me the cash. Let me decide what I want to do. Even if it's been even if we've spoken about it for the last year, you know the way you could just throw out comments like, oh, I'd love to do this, I'd love to do this, I want to get my hair dyed, I want Botox in my face, I just want to but that doesn't mean I'm definitely going to go through with it. And as a boss, you have that professional relationship.
Very true.
You shouldn't be making the final call on someone's body. And then you might even force them into it. And then if they don't want, then what if you do it and it goes wrong? What if something goes wrong and then it's on the boss? Just give them the cash. Always just give them the cash.
That is so true. That is so true. I mean, when you put it in that perspective, 100% true. Everything you said, it ticks all the right boxes. Give them the cash, stay away from any kind of complications that might incur after or whatever. But it's always a thing of be careful what you wish for. It's she wanted it. She said she wants it. Anyone. It can be he, she. They say they want it, and then when they finally get it, it's a whole bunch of oh my God, is this right? Is it wrong? How do I feel about it? It's that's the whole thing about gifts, right? Your friends gift you purses or they gift you perfumes. It could very well go for anything. Just give me the cash instead.
Yeah, when your friend gives you a nice purse and then you have to use it, or a purse and you have to. She's going to have to use that. You know what I mean? You've never gifted me a purse. But what I'm saying is that's going to be, you can't say no. Then you have to go through with it and add it to your handbag and look at it every day. So you want to make sure it's the most amazing purse.
Yeah. And it's if you give someone a perfume, right? Are you implying that they smell? You know, like, because now people get offended so easily, right? Like, it's just so much that goes into it. Sorry?
People don't get offended easily.
No, people do get offended. Oh, did you just get offended by that?
No. Anyway.
Seems like you are.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I don't know. It's just such an interesting topic because I don't know, like, you're right. You're right. In this specific situation, the boss gifting cosmetic surgery, particularly one that the person that his employee wanted, was a little bit of a miss. But imagine if it were a friend gifting it to her. Would it be okay then?
I would struggle choosing a wallet to give to someone because it's going to be that much part of their lives. So
they say exactly what they want. You know, like when you ask someone, okay, I'm going to get a Christmas gift. What do you want? I'm going to get your birthday gift. What do you want? And that person specifically, you know, like implies that this is what I want, and you give it to them. And
this
then
is the boss-employee relationship, and that's what's weird about it.
Yeah. But if it were not, would it be okay?
If it was a friend and you kind of had the conversations, yeah, probably it's fine.
Yeah, the boss employee. So you're right. With that, you just keep it professional.
It's that dynamic. That's
the comment section.
The comment section, as always, if you know the story we're talking about, it's everywhere. It's probably been on your WhatsApp. But we're going to jump into something a little more on the traditional side. The top 10 dream jobs for UAE residents. So shout out, by the way, to the data analysis at Italy. They look at 12 months of search data to determine what are the most searched for jobs in every country of the world. And although you may guess that influencer is easily the #1 in Dubai, you would be oh so wrong.
No way.
Not it.
I would so think that it is. And Remelity is an online remittance service based in Seattle, but they also survey people. And the term they analyzed in each country was how to be an, and you'll be surprised by the #1 guess.
Okay, so first of all, if you would ever think about what job you would want, you would put into Google how to be a
pilot or how to be a...
Yeah, you would think that would be #1. Okay, so we'll go from 10. Programmer, illustrator, athlete, footballer, football coach. Now we're down to #5. How to be a comedian.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Make people laugh.
We do it all the time without trying.
Yeah, we do. #4, no surprise, how to be an influencer is the top 4th search term for dream jobs in the UAE.
Top 4. I'm so shook it's not #1.
Same.
Yeah.
Because there's actually like process you can take. #3, YouTuber.
Same lines.
Same lines. #2, scientist.
Wow. That's so good.
It's a head scratcher.
Yeah.
Who's Googling how to be a scientist? How is that the top one? So proud of us all. And then finally, the #1 most sought after, most popular job choice in the UAE is poet.
I Googled that one. Oh yeah, I get it. Like so many of us want to be like, you know, take out our inner Shakespeare and show the world just how on par we are with Shakespeare.
Is it that poet, author, novelist,
writer?
Isn't that the dream job? You're just sitting down with your pen and paper, just like your thoughts, putting them on paper, and if they're good, you're on easy street, making money.
That is so interesting. Like a poet is #1.
A poet's #1. I mean, people know what easy street is. All the poets right now are sitting at home writing. Casey, you don't know how hard this is.
But now they have ChatGPT to do their jobs for them because ChatGPT writes poems. It writes songs. It writes raps. It does everything.
It does everything that we've been trained to do.
So if you're struggling to be a poet, but it's actually like, I wouldn't think it's that difficult being a poet. I don't know.
Not difficult to be a poet. However, to be a successful poet would be a whole other ballgame. Because I could be a poet tomorrow. I just wouldn't get paid for it. And
yeah. I think everything creative starts off as like a side hustle situation, like a creative page. Because a friend of mine in university, he became a published poet by starting an Instagram page where he would put out like verses of things he's written out like practically every day. And then the page picked up. It got like 15,000 followers. Then I blew up to 20,000 followers eventually.
Wow.
And then later he published his own book, his own like poem book. And it was amazing.
So if you've been Googling how to be a poet,
There you go.
So
Start
friend.
off on
What's his
Instagram.
name?
Talha.
Talha.
And he started on Instagram, so that's incredible.
So there you go.
There
Surprise,
you go.
surprise. Didn't see that one coming.
So journalists, how to be a journalist never made it to the list. Pilots never made it to the list.
You would think the biggies, like how to be a real estate broker.
Yes.
Like how to be an engineer, how to be a teacher in Dubai.
Doctor.
You would assume
Yeah.
all the kind of like top professions
Would make it.
The most common professions would be on the list.
True.
But no, scientist, YouTuber, and poet.
But influencer made the list. I mean, like,
No
I
surprises.
feel like that's just restored my whatever sense I've had of this world. Influencer has made it, because you would think that Dubai is basically influencer central,
It is.
right? At this point.
Remember, we won the top award for most gym selfies in the world. Hashtag gym selfie. That was a big one.
Oh, our achievements are just never ending. Guys, our next few messages claiming to be UAE's Ministry of Interior have been clarified as scams. The Ministry of Interior has issued a warning regarding calls and messages that are aimed at fraud and electronic blackmail, asking people to be careful about who they trust online. And the calls or messages are usually done by scammers under the pretense of updating the user's personal data in the Ministry of Interior's system. Now, the victims are requested to provide scammers with information provided in the text message, which is usually an OTP, like a specific number or a specific code or anything that's sent to your personal message.
This happens way too often, and in this case, the MOI confirms that official authorities do not ask the public to update their data via text message, so never expect you to have to give away your personal information on a text message. Please proceed with caution if you come across any suspicious communications or text messages, especially if they claim to be from official authorities. Now, we have, how many people watching this morning? If you're in the UAE, have you ever gotten a scam message?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think every single person has probably received a scam message.
Alibaba's nodding. Ali K, yes.
I think if not via your text messages, definitely on Instagram you would have gotten a message, or somewhere or the other you would have, or your emails, right? Because now email scams are also a big thing, like we know from our office itself.
Yeah, those email scams where they ask you to go and buy those Apple vouchers.
Yeah.
And my mom has been scammed numerous times over the phone, and what I think they do is they save her number and then like 3 months later they call her back. But yesterday, my mom was watching for the first time ever. She messaged me and she said, Casey, I got 2 hoax calls today. And I was like, Mom, every other time they rang you, you've given them your bank details. You've given them your Emirates ID. This is progress. So she's amazing.
Wow.
She figured out the scammers. The Ministry of Interior are helping you, but also Laurent Fitzgerald is on the case.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly.
After 3 times.
Honestly, looking at her, I would just not, I could not tell that she's been scammed or she could ever fall for a scam, because she looks so sharp and like I've seen the world, I've seen everything. So like this.
She looks like she's doing the scams. Is that what you're saying?
No.
She looks like she's at home writing the scams, but no. We've all been victim. They're tricky. They're pesky guys on the phone. They're not easy to determine. I had one time and they said, they were so believable. They're like, yeah, we're Dubai police. And I was like, no, you're not. And I gave them, that whole like sarcastic, I'm not listening to you. And then they're like, look at your phone. We've just sent you a message. And it came up from Dubai police. And I was like, and they're like, we're going to cancel your Emirates ID if you don't come tomorrow. Or alternatively, just send the cash. And I was like, no.
A similar thing happened to me.
But
Alibaba speaking in our ears.
Yeah, a similar thing happened to me where the scammer was dressed as a policeman.
So Ali is saying a similar thing happened to him. Can they hear him? Can they hear you?
Yeah, they can hear me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically he dressed up as a policeman and video called me, and he said the same thing, that like he wanted details and all that for the balloon.
Alibaba got a video call from a person pretending to be Dubai police. Quick question. And what platform were they video calling you?
WhatsApp.
We don't have WhatsApp calls.
Well,
that's your scam right there.
Yeah, basically. I was very
so
confused.
Strange.
That's very confusing.
Dubai police WhatsApp calling you and the call came through. I don't know. That's so weird.
What's the Heart One said, how I have sent a WhatsApp message to be featured. Send us a DM too in case we miss the WhatsApp. But yeah, those scams are they're just rife, but it's great to see that the MOI are sending out these warnings to make us all aware, just be vigilant.
Exactly. And then when you go to malls, do not accept it when people airdrop things to you, because most of the times it's just like weird viruses that you can get on your phone. Have you ever gotten airdrop requests in malls?
Never.
Never?
No.
I was you at one point. And then 2 weeks ago, I go to the Dubai Mall and I get like all these like weird airdrop messages. You've never ever received one?
I don't know.
Like a random airdrop.
No.
And you just have to decline.
Never.
Okay, always decline.
Good to know. Decline your airdrops at the malls. Why? What did you get?
No, I didn't get. Of course, I declined. I never accepted
it.
Yeah, because see, these when you go to malls, right? Like you have all sorts of like people trying to airdrop you weird things.
I heard Snapchat's a place that you can send like messages.
No, it's airdrop.
Okay.
Maybe Snapchat as well. I just don't know. But like with airdrop, right? Like maybe people are sending you notes which are like hi, hello, hi, beautiful, like whatever it is. But like you just don't know if you accept, if you'll get a virus, if you'll get a weird scam sent to your phone or like some tracking code or whatever it is. Just do not accept airdrop messages.
Kids, if you're watching, this is the modern day. Do not accept sweets from strangers. Don't accept airdrop on your Apple phone if you're, because I think Samsung, we didn't have them when I was a Samsung user for so long. That's why I didn't know.
Right.
But anyway, let's jump into our next story. The countdown for the Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open is on, so get in line. The world's top female tennis players are going head to head at the Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open. We're talking more than 60 singles and doubles matches over the span of 8 days. It's all kicking off at Zayed Sports City International Tennis Centre, Abu Dhabi, from the 5th to the 12th of February, which is just in a few days' time. And you can expect more than games. The tournament is bringing you fun-packed activities off the court as well.
Okay, so it starts this Sunday and they've got a line of entertainment and activities for the whole family, and yes, even the little ones. So sports enthusiasts get your very own fan activations and tennis-themed games, plus special Q&A sessions with the players from February 5th to the 8th, which is Sunday onwards. And tickets start at 50 dirhams, and little ones under 12 can enter for free from February 6th until the 9th. And grab your tickets on Ticketmaster and sign up for Mubadala newsletter for a chance to win free tickets.
We are so excited about this one. If you're a tennis fan, it's going to be amazing. The top female tennis players are coming. We're talking Ons Jabeur. Big tennis lineup. So if you want to get down to Abu Dhabi, go there. Just need some more time in my life to do all of these nice things.
I know, and that's the thing. Like right now, the city is buzzing with all of these amazing sports activations and events and stuff. And you just want to, you feel so much FOMO not going to them.
Speaking of FOMO, it is the weekend, it is Friday, and we are so excited. What are you guys up to? Our top 10 things to do this weekend is going live very shortly. What are you doing this weekend?
What am I doing this weekend? So tomorrow evening, I'm supposed to be going to Jebel Jais.
Cool.
I'm so excited for that because now it's like the weather for long drives.
To hike it?
No, not hike. I think just long drive and like barbecue and stuff. But right?
Amazing.
Oh,
it is
what
the
are
weather.
Sorry?
It's the weather for us.
It's the weather, and it's going to be like nice and chilly in Jebel Jais, but you've just come back from chilly weather, so you wouldn't want to be.
No,
you've
not
tasted the best mountains on earth. So I think Jebel Jais were like, oh wow, I just came back from the Swiss Alps, the French Alps. Sorry. So.
That's just my life now. So.
What are you doing this weekend?
I was just thinking there's so much going on. So there's the RAC Abu Dhabi, or there's the RAC Golf Championships, which I'm not going to, but I wish I was. Taste of Dubai is running all weekend. I'm going this evening, but you know it's got like the top 20 restaurants in the city. They come and they do little pop-ups in Dubai Media City Amphitheatre.
Oh,
it's been my favorite, and they don't do it, or they stopped during COVID, and now it's back. I may have the years mixed up, but it's such a great foodie event. You get little tickets, and you can get like a starter here and a main course here and a drink here. It's really fantastic. I'm going to play some golf. I'm going to really use my 2 days. Can't wait.
Wow. So you're going to start off sporty, ended up foodie.
Start food and sport.
Start foodie.
Maybe do a little roast on Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just living your life.
Living your life.
2-day week. You don't need a 3-day weekend. Like 2-day weekend is enough for Casey. But guys, right now we'll be jumping into an interview with the Bylands Mohammed Yaha on the pulse of Dubai's rental market. Hey guys, welcome back. Now there have been a lot of questions circulating around the increase in rent prices, and here to tell us more about it is Mr. Mohammed Yaha from the Dubai Land Department. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it.
So there has been a lot of spark around
Mm-hmm.
the whole situation. Can you please clarify what is happening?
No, currently we've seen a tremendous increase in the number of contracts, and the demand is quite high. I mean, it went from about 500,000 registered contracts all the way to over 760,000 in the year 2022. Some specific areas have more advantage, I would say, on those. But again, some of the people are worried that the prices are still going higher. The landlords are. We're not talking about all the landlords. Some of the landlords are, let's say, abusing their ability and the ignorance in some of the tenants about the law and what are their rights. So these are the main issues that we're facing, and we want to explain to the tenants that price increases are governed, of course, by 3 different decrees. One is the Law 27 of 2007, one is Law 33 for 2008, and the last and final one is 43 for the year 2013.
So what are these decrees?
These are the decrees that governs the relationship between the landlord and the tenant. So everyone has rights, everyone has obligations. The obligation, let's say the tenant, you stay in a villa, and you're currently paying 100,000. The current market price is about 180,000. So the landlord sends you a notice telling you that your rent is going to be 180,000. He cannot do that. Again, because the law says you have to have 90 days notice. That's number one, prior to the expiration of the contract. Second thing, it has to be within the approved limits. I mean, he cannot tell you need to pay this much, first of all, unless he has a documentation from the Dubai Land Department, either by the index, the rental index that is published on our website and on the application, or by a valuation for his specific unit. Given that as well, he cannot increase more than 20%. There is a specific calculation, different segments. You can increase 5% if you are within less than 10 to 20% of the average in the area. You can increase 10% of your rent if you are within 20 to 30, and then 30 to 40, and then anything above 40% in terms of difference between your current rent and the market rent, you can pay 20%. So worst case scenario is he's eligible to increase the rent by 20%.
Okay.
So 20% is the highest that it can go.
It's the highest that it can go.
So now, okay, so last year everyone saw rent increasing, and everyone had the question, okay, so what's going to happen next year? Is rent going to increase? Is it going to decrease? So what is the, verdict on that?
We look at the now. Let's look at it globally. There was a report by UBS published for the real estate index in 2022. It's about 25 major cities of the world. You're talking about New York, Tokyo, London, Paris, Dubai, Sao Paulo. Only 4 cities were ranked as fairly priced. Dubai was one of them. It was Dubai, Warsaw, Milan, and Sao Paulo only. And you have different categories: overpriced, and then you have bubble. Bubble is the worst, of course. So we're talking about the current trends, or let's say the current market is for it's well priced in terms of the global concept. Looking at the speculation or what's going to happen in the next year. Our speculation, it should stabilize. You had a big spike that came in 2022. This is due to a lot of factors that the government and the leadership have created during this time, and it attracted a lot of investors, a lot of people who came and actually bought properties to have the residency over here. The
golden visa.
Yeah, the golden visa, exactly.
Okay.
So we have a lot of people who bought. We have a lot of people who opened businesses. It's the first time we've seen the prices, or let's say the rents for commercial units increase in more than 11 years. We haven't seen that.
Wow.
Because again, there is a demand. People want to come and operate in Dubai as well. They open branches in Dubai as well. So these are the main factors. Now 2022 might be an exceptional year. Even if you look at the numbers, the performance of the Dubai Land Department, the total value of the real estate transactions last year was over $500 billion. This was a number that we have never reached.
That's
in
incredible.
the history of Dubai. So again, we're talking about 2022 as an exceptional year. We look at the rents this year, hopefully to more stabilizing, because there are more projects that are coming. On the other hand, there is always a place for every budget. So you don't need to worry about specific areas. Some areas went extremely high in terms of rent. However, if you go and look into different areas, let's say in Nahda, it's very well priced. I know it's not the palm. However, it's still it's affordable. You have Ras Al Khor, very affordable. You have two different spectrums and all the in between as well.
So can landlords increase the price every year? Can they increase rent every year, or is it bi-yearly? How does it work?
It's yearly. If he is allowed to increase, again, he would be increasing within those segments, and it can be annually, yes.
Okay, because a lot of people say that it's a bi-yearly thing. Only every 2 years can they increase. The reduction can happen whenever, but if you are to increase the price, increase the rent, it is going to happen only every second year. So you're saying that's not true?
No, that was probably in 2008, and this was changed at that time. The increase can happen and can occur annually.
So for the tenant and the landlord, it's not black and white, right? It never is. There's so many implications that go into it as well.
Yes.
If I want to protect myself as a tenant, what do I do and where do I go?
See, a lot of landlords are fair when it comes to rents and dealing with their tenants, and a lot of tenants are fair as well. But a lot of tenants took advantage of what happened in 2020 with the COVID, and they went into the reduction, and they signed the new contracts much lower, and took some landlords, again, ignorance, or let's say the level of knowledge for landlords, they naively agreed on certain terms, and they said, okay, let's help people. They reduced it, and they got stuck at the low prices. So it's by the way, it works for both ways. You have the good and bad in every way. But I would recommend always to consult with us, the land department. I mean, we have our social media accounts that are available for everyone.
So can people just directly DM their question? You guys will reply exactly.
We do that. We answer our Twitter and our Instagram almost every single day.
Okay.
We do have inquiries that comes to us, and we do respond to that.
Amazing.
So if you have any doubts, if any of the viewers have doubts, they can always reach out to us. I mean, on our social media, we're there, and we would give them proper guidance on how to do it.
So right now we'll try to clear out as many doubts as UAE residents possibly have, specifically Dubai residents. But now I want to ask you about check bounces. Now a lot of times checks bounce because of maybe signature or something or the other, and landlords impose heavy penalties. Now is that something that you can ask to be pardoned, or no? Like a check bounce penalty is given, like you have to pay that.
These are if this is an agreed upon let's say condition in the contract, it means you have agreed on it. If anything or any charges that are not in your existing contract, you are not obliged to pay, and you can totally deny paying those charges. But I know that majority of the tenancy contracts involves a clause that protects them on bounced checks, because again, administratively it does cost the management company or the landlord some funds. A lot of them prices it fairly. They would go from 200 to 500. Some of them goes to extremes. But again, if it's there in the contract and you agreed on it, it should be imposed.
Okay, and if it's not on the contract, then the tenant has no right to pay the check bounce penalty.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And one thing we were talking about the eviction of the tenants. Some landlord would just call the tenant, tell him I'm moving in 2 months. Please vacate the premises. And I want to explain to you the process first of all. You have the personal use. Evicting for personal use. Of course, there's another type of eviction which is by force from the authorities because it's an unsafe building or property. In the case of personal use, the landlord should give the tenant a 12 months notice, okay, and not by phone, not by email. It has to be either by registered mail or the notary public. And he has to use the property for himself or for a first degree relative to stay over there. And in some cases, the judge would say you need to prove that you do not have a similar residence in Dubai for you to stay in.
Okay.
So it's there are restrictions. And if now we are working towards flagging any of the properties that are being evicted for personal use, these are going to be flagged, and these are going to be the landlord would be unable to do ijari on those properties. Again,
I'm not understanding the situation. So you're saying if I have bought a property, right, and I've given it out for lease, if I'm renting out the property.
Yes.
Now, if I ask them you need to vacate the premises, I need to move into my apartment now. You're saying there are rules against that, and that if I want to do that, I'll have to go through the court and then give them a legal notice, as well as the court needs to ensure that I don't have another residency that I'm staying at. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Not through the courts. Normally, if it goes to court, you have to prove that you do not have a different residence that is vacant that you can move into. That's one. The second thing, it has to be 12 months notice by notary public or the registered mail.
A whole year's notice.
A whole year's notice. Again, the law was taking into consideration the stability of a family. If a family and children are there, they have schools, they have their social life around them. They need some time to adjust.
Okay, so this is on this. The laws are always on the side of the tenant, right?
Not really.
No, not really.
It's fair.
You hear tenants complaining all the time now.
Yeah, that's both the side.
We're trying to create this balance as much as possible. Yes.
Okay.
So if I am having my ijari for a bunch of properties, like on me, for example, for me and my friends who have just moved into the countries, is that something that I can legally do as well? Can I have multiple ijaris under my name?
You can have up to 4 under your name, or you can beyond 4. You would have to prove that you need more units. You have more wives, let's say. But generally, no. The limit is 4 because we've seen some people with extremely low income that rents out like 10 properties and goes and sublets. a lot of things in certain areas that are not allowing subletting, creating an issue. So this is why it's limited to 4.
So you predicted this year that rents will stabilize.
Yes, towards the end of 2023, we're again, this is a speculation. We're looking at stabilization in terms of rents. A lot of landlords, by the way, are okay. They would increase a fair value on the rent, but however, they want to retain their good tenants. They have a good relation with you, and they would say it's fine that I'm not going to increase 5, 6, or 7,000 more as long as I have someone that I trust in my property. A lot of landlords are
so always be on your best behavior and keep good relations with your landlord. So 2 questions for you now. When can we expect rent reductions? Which year? Any speculations on that or forecasts on that? And number 2, now if a tenant wants to dispute their rent increment, who do they go to, and do they go to the Dubai Land Department? Is that something that will be considered, seeing their financial situation or anything?
The rent reduction, again, if the landlord has the right to increase rent, we would always recommend for mutual agreement, because the courts would see that there is it's within the rights of the landlord to increase the rent from this much to this much. I know sometimes it does stress some tenants financially. Again, some landlords do take that into consideration, but we cannot deny the landlord his rights as well. And if there is an issue or a dispute, there is always the rental dispute center that look into those issues. They resolve these issues. They can, in some cases that we've seen, and especially in commercial units, they actually reduce rents.
Okay.
Because let's say those businesses were not, they were operating under losses. And some of the times they broke some contracts, 5 or 6 year contracts. They told the landlord, or there was a ruling that this tenant cannot continue having these losses, so we are cutting it out without those penalties.
Oh, wow.
Again, yes, some of the judges look into that, but it's more inclined towards businesses rather than residential.
So it is a case by case. It's not like a one shoe fits all situation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And also, there's a corporate tax that's going to be introduced very shortly. Is that going to affect the market in any way?
Residential market, no, because even the VAT is not applicable for any residential unit. I mean, anything that's rented for residential purposes is not affected by that. With company tax, I'm not sure about how it is going to happen. If companies own properties, are they going to pay 9% on the properties or not? I think it's not going to be applicable, because a lot of families created holding companies to own the properties, again for different financial and management purposes.
Now there are lots of not rumors, like what is the conjecture about, like Russian expats come, like an influx of Russian expats, influx of Chinese investors in the cities. So hence, like, the rent prices go up. Is there any truth to that? Is that the reason why rents are hiking?
No, the rents are hiking because of the extreme high demands. I mean, we do see.
Do the high demands come from these expats and investors?
Not only them. It does. I'm not saying there aren't. We do have high-paying Russian tenants. We have high-paying Chinese tenants. But again, the spike did not come only from 2 nationalities. We do see. We've seen a lot of English people, British. We've seen French. We've seen Germans. Again, we're talking about 370,000 extra contracts last year alone, which is a very big number.
Okay.
So it's not specific to a certain nationality. It is a general thing. Probably they see Dubai as a safe haven. It's safe. It's very appealing, and a lot enjoy living here.
And also, would you say in the long run, is it better renting a home, or is it like better buying a home and just mortgage and all of that, like in the long run?
If you can afford it, definitely buy one.
Buying one you would recommend?
If you can afford it, yes, of course.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I can. I still have to figure that out. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mr.
Thank you.
Mohammed.
Thank you for having me.
It's been such a pleasure. Thanks for clearing up all our misconceptions. Guys, that is it from us. We'll be back with you, same time, same place next week. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.